You get all inspired by this podcast or the book that you're reading or the conference. And then guess what? Monday hits. You're back to the pace, the pressure, the people, and it all comes rushing back, and everything that you've just learned doesn't get implemented. Welcome to the Confident Podcast. I am Lisa Tarkington, your guide to mastering confidence and leadership. As a business and leadership coach, keynote speaker, and a visionary behind LEAD, I am here to equip you with the confidence, clarity, and strategy to create game-changing results so that you can step into your power as the person you're meant to be. If you pressed play today, it's because you're ready for something bigger. We're going to have real and raw conversations that will help you redefine your leadership and reclaim your confidence. This isn't just another podcast, it's your journey that we're on together. So buckle up and let's dive into this transformation. Your next level awaits. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Confident Podcast. I am your host, Lisa Tarkington, and I have the honor every week to be here with you guys, or every other week when we have the podcast. And I wanted to say something to kind of start us out today is if you are new, welcome. If someone thought in your life that you needed to listen to this podcast, welcome. And if you've been here since we started in 2017, which is crazy to say, thanks for being on this journey with us. That means that we have been around for 8 years, if I'm doing my math right. And we'll be going on 9 this upcoming year. And 10 years, a decade? That would be crazy to even think about. But for those that are new, I wanted to do an introduction to me, a reintroduction. And for those who have been with me, life has changed. So I figured, why not take this moment to give you all of my background, all of the great things that I'm so honored to be. So I'm a business and leadership coach through the International Coaching Federation. I'm a keynote speaker, honored to be in that role. I'm a nonprofit founder and the creator of the Zone Method and the Core Leadership Blueprint. All of these things are extremely important to me. Like I said, I'm a certified coach through the ICF, so an associate certified coach, which is important. I'm trained through Coactive Coaching, one of the world's most respected coaching models. And additionally to that, I have academics from Michigan State University, Go Green, University of Pennsylvania in communications and social impact. And I think that's important to say, right? I think that it's important to know all of the things that I do. I lead, I operate, I think, and I'm not just cheerleading you guys on. I have the background, and I have the experience, and I have the expertise in these areas. The other cool thing is that I'm a wife, I'm a friend, and I'm a mom to a little boy, and also a mom to 2 dogs, and I love everything adventure. I'm very, very focused a lot more on how does my adventurous side comes out in my life, and how do I help people by guiding them through design, through experience, through methodologies, and through blueprints. So I figured today what I would do is talk to you guys about coaching, one of my favorite subjects to talk about. And it's because I think that coaching is a missing link in many people's lives through their life and through the leadership. And that's facts is that it's just like the bold truth to me. So I'm not going to spend this time convincing you that you need a coach. I think, though, what I figured I would do is talk to you about why coaching works, why it's important, and the style in which I do this. So a big misconception, just to start us out, about coaching is that coaching is just giving advice. And sure, if you want your coach to give you advice, we will do that. However, I think that it's very different in the sense of many times when I go for advice to people, I'm going to my mentors. But a coach is a completely different world. Coaching helps you transform the way that you think, the way that you operate, the way that you lead. It helps you get unstuck. You stop second guessing yourself, burning yourself out. And that's really, really important. I also want you to think about this in a different way. So think about everything that I've taught on this podcast since day one, okay? Everything I've taught, especially when I do solos, is they're always skills, they're always tools, they're always stories. So imagine if you got me one-on-one or in a group coaching session where all of the tools that I teach and everything that I talk about on this podcast was custom just for you, for your situations, for your personality, for your goals, for your team, and for your business. That is what coaching does for you. It's not a generic one size fits all. Yes, I have a process in which I follow things, but it's tailored to the person that's getting coached. I specialize in leadership and business, and I really, truly care about your life too. So there are people that are life coaches. I'm leadership and business, but I do believe that we, all of them come combined. I've seen when people grow in their leadership and their business, how that flows into their life. When they've had life coaching, how that flows into their professional life as well. And so all of these things are really important, and we address all of them. And so today I'm going to share with you guys some real results of clients that have achieved some fantastic things. I'm so proud of my clients, from promotions to team alignment to having 500% organizational growth. I kid you not, that is something that's happened from my coaching, and all of the hidden reasons why coaching works, because it's about moving the needle in your life. Think about it in a way of wanting to go from a certain version of yourself that you are today to the next level. And as we're moving into 2026, I think it's really important for us to think about, what do you want next? Is it focus? Is it discipline? Is it alignment? All of those things are really key and keywords when it comes to where we want to go next. So one of the things that I hear a lot, let's just start this out with, you can always learn something new. I think that is what people think, like, well, I don't need a coach. I'm good right now. But I will tell you, anybody that I've ever worked with has learned something new with working from me. I recently have worked with a lot of different individuals who have different levels of success. And recently there was one guy that reached out to me, and he said, I want to learn about coaching because I have been hearing about it for so long in my career. Everybody that's around me has a coach. And what he noticed was that everybody was very, very successful that had a coach. Success, however he defined that. But really what he was talking about is like in their professional world. And I thought that was really cool because he could see how coaching was affecting people by their success levels and how he, again, defined that. Most of the time when people come to me and want leadership or business training, it's because the version that they're in right now isn't working for them anymore. Maybe they have too much on their plate and they have no clear way of how they're going to take it off without dropping the ball. Maybe you are dealing with constant pivots. Maybe it's priority changes, fires popping up all the time that you're trying to fix, and people needing answers right now. Maybe you're listening and you feel this pressure to have all the answers all the time for everybody and right now. Maybe you have no space for thinking strategically. Maybe your days are blurred with meetings and emails and you're putting out fires, like I said a little bit earlier. Maybe you're feeling behind, even when you're working nonstop. Ding, ding, felt that before. I felt all of these things actually, so I can relate to all of you. Maybe you want just growth in your role, in your income, in your team, in your business, but you're not sure what levels to pull to make those things happen. Maybe you're reactive versus intentional, and your calendar is leading you the wrong direction. Maybe you're second guessing your decisions and replaying conversations in your head until 10 p.m. or 1 a.m. or 3 a.m. And recently, I even had just had someone reach out with just a lot of self-doubt, not wanting to delegate, not understanding how to go from tactical to strategic, being put in amazing positions to lead people, but not sure how. And if you're listening to this right now and your head is nodding along to any of these, I just want to point out that you're not alone. So that's really important to know. But usually what happens when our brains get to this place, we're like, okay, what's the podcast that I have to listen to? Again, you're listening to mine right now. What's the book that I need to read to help me figure this out? And do I need to attend a conference? You get all inspired by this podcast or the book that you're reading or the conference. And then guess what? Monday hits And you're back to the pace, the pressure, the people, and it all comes rushing back, and everything that you've just learned doesn't get implemented. And you slide right back into the same patterns because you have always had a way of how you think, how you decide, how you structure your day, instead of really focusing your attention month after month on how to shift. And I can say all of those things because I've been there more times than not. I thought that's where I wanted to invest my time. Now, I still do those things. I used to sign up for all of the free stuff. I'd see people's like how to build this and how to do this. I'm like, that will fix my problems, right? And in the moment, sure, it did a little bit. It taught me some things. But I'm going to tell you the thing that changed my life. It was getting a coach. I have been coaching for years. I've had many different levels of people that I've worked with. But the reason why I know coaching works is because I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. I have businesses. I oversee different levels. I've seen different structures, organizational things. I've hired, I've fired, I've reorged different areas. I've gone through change management. Very, very big on understanding those things, but I've also had a coach, and I see how that has changed my life. And I've also seen how my coaching has changed other people's lives. And both of those things I think are important when it comes to taking that next step and investing in yourself. So before I share all of these amazing stories of all of the excitement that my clients have experienced with working with my coaching, I think it's important to point out the process. The other day, someone had reached out and said, Lisa, I don't even know the process of how coaching works. And I said, all right, let's dive into it. Let's make this happen for you, because my first and foremost piece when it comes to coaching is how can I support you? How do I support your stories? How do I support your goals? It's not about me. I got the credentials and I got the experience so that I could support you, listener, you, so that I can support how you want to move forward. The biggest thing, as I say, is that we go through the difference between therapy and coaching, and I don't spend many sessions digging into your childhood or how you got to where you are. I start from right now and where do you want to go? I always think that there's probably a version of ourselves that's maybe like 2.0 or 1.0, and we're moving to the next level. So we talk about that and where we want to go. Basically, what I always start out with is I have an application that people fill out. I take those seriously because I want to work with people that are truly ready to invest in themselves. They have the accountability, they're ready for the goals, and they're ready from a financial perspective. And I provide a 30-minute free consultation on all of those. And I think that's important because you have to be able to be ready for accountability. You have to be ready to have goals set, and you also have to be focused on the financial piece. What I see a lot of people do is they hear the process, they get so excited, they're like, this is what I need. And then they hear the financial investment and they're like, okay, maybe a different time. But I'm going to tell you right now, coaching has, for me, 10 times over financially brought me back to wealth in many different ways into my life. And I think that that's important to point out, that coaching is a game changer in all aspects of your life. So as I run through my process, I always remind everybody that I have the credentials, have the experience, but also everything that they share, the personal stuff is very confidential. Sure, I get to share the amazing success stories, but a lot of the stuff is very shared confidential, because I think that that's important, that you're in a safe place where there is that one-to-one relationship and trust. So a lot of times, right when I get started and a client's like, yes, I'm on board, we get started with, they take an assessment, they fill out a questionnaire, and we put together goals with intended outcomes of how they want to spend our time together. And from there, we get started. We spend time going through those things. I ask clarifying questions. We really get to the nitty-gritty in that first session so that I can get prepared to set them up for success. And when we get started, we have sessions. I always do bi-weekly. We focus on our goals. Maybe something came up and we need to focus there. That's great. We can shift a little bit as long as we're going back to our goals, or goals can change sometimes. And I'm in charge of making sure that I'm asking the right questions, helping you see different perspectives. But I also think it's important for the client to know that there's accountability and there's homework as well. I think the greatest thing that I love about coaching is I get to meet you where you're at. I'm not starting up high if you're not there. I'm not starting up low if you're past that. I'm meeting you right where you need me to be. I provide the tools and evidence-based strategies. And we look at things and strategies that will fit you. Maybe that means how you manage your time, how you delegate, how you communicate, how you make decisions, how you're caring for yourself without losing momentum. Maybe it's how you set expectations or the ways that you handle conflict. We look at your roadblocks, your limiting beliefs, your self-doubt, and we help you make sure that you're set up for consistent support and accountability. So again, we meet regularly. We review what we're working on. We shift as needed. I ask the powerful questions. I challenge you. And what I think is really important is that I'm not just giving you homework to, here's another thing on your list. What I'm trying to do is help you integrate change into your life so that you can utilize in the real world, like right after we're done with coaching, right? For your team, your inbox, your meetings, your home life. And I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. Again, it's about like when you're inspired in that moment, how are you going to then implement those things into your life? I think it's really important for us to understand that we're going to evolve through coaching and to be ready for those changes, being prepared for your role changes to happen, opportunities and challenges. My job is to help you evolve, to expand, to think differently, and then not continuously going back to bad habits or old habits. It's one of those things that when you want to be successful, coaching is part of that. There's a lot of different facets to it, but I'm really always excited when my clients are ready to take on a challenge. They're open to something new, and we get to work together to help them reach new heights, which is so fascinating and so amazing. You've put in the hours, hit key milestones, and taken on more responsibilities. But as you rise, the demands grow, leaving you overwhelmed and stuck in the weeds. You're ready for a leadership role where you can empower others, not just manage tasks. It's time to overcome self-doubt, trust your abilities, and lead with purpose. Now, if that sounds like you and you are ready for the shift, first and foremost, you're not alone. And secondly, I'd love to help you. With years of experience coaching leaders, entrepreneurs, and inspiring professionals, I've helped people like you overcome limiting beliefs, find ways to manage their time, and achieve their goals with personalized strategies that actually work. My approach is all about practical, actionable tools tailored to your new, unique challenges and dreams. Whether you're a business owner building sustainable systems, or someone craving more confidence or a different perspective, or a leader looking to step into their next level of their career, this program is for you. So if you're serious about creating real change and ready to invest in yourself, visit lisatarkington.com/coaching and sign up for a free consultation with me. I'd love to support you on your next level of confidence. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you know that there's one product that I continue to rave about because it's been a game changer in my household. We know I'm talking about AG1. It is the daily health drink that combines your multivitamins, pre- and probiotics, superfoods, all into one simple green scoop. It's one of the easiest things you can do to support your body every day. My husband and I both take them daily, and it has helped us in many ways, and I want that for you too. As we approach the new year, it is never too early to take control of your health. Think about what habits can start today. AG1 is one of the easiest daily habits that you can do before New Year's. If you use my link, you'll get the newest formula and the best price available at AG1 Next Gen right now. It's a pretty amazing offer. So what you need to do is you need to head to drinkag1.com/theconfident and you'll get the welcome kit, a morning person hat, a bottle of vitamin D3 plus K2, an AG1 flavor sample, and you'll get to try the new sleep supplement AGZ, which I love, and it's for free for you. It has also been a game changer for me. And this is all $126 in free gifts when you become a first subscriber. Again, $126 worth of things for free. So head over to ag1.com/theconfident to get yours today. So here's some examples of people that have just like knocked it out of the park, with coaching. And I think one of the things that might be a misconception about coaching is I've shared okay, it kind of happens over time. There's also been coaching moments for me where I've had a coach and 2 years later, something he or she said makes sense now. And sometimes I've been frustrated with my coach. It's okay to be frustrated with your coach. They're challenging you. They're trying to make you better because they see what your potential is. But they're still meeting you where you're at because they know okay, they're maybe not ready to go to that next level. Let me help them get to where they want to go. It's all about your goals and what you want and how that coach can help you. And that's my job. So one of the coolest things is seeing the success of individuals that I've worked with, being part of their families and seeing their growth and just knowing that they believed enough in themselves to go to the next level. Strategic growth planning is one of the areas. I've helped a leader go from being just kind of a team lead to a director role. We talked a lot about, in the beginning, self-doubt, how to put a plan together, how to hire the right people, and also how working every night wasn't actually effective. Through working with me, we moved from a 50% growth year to year to like I said, a 500% growth over time. We've built out a 3-year plan that helped align to priorities. We've hired the right people. This person has hired the right people. I'm the coach on the other end. And I remember us talking a while ago and watching their self-doubt kind of go away, believing that they deserve to be at the table and being able to communicate effectively across different paths, which I think was really important. And he did all of this in 6 months. I'm kidding you not. This person went from thinking that they were drowning to finally feeling like they could figure it out, that they could get to the next level. And they've exceeded all of their expectations and their leaders' expectations. And again, 6 months. And this was 2 years in the making before they even came to me for coaching. Another spot that I've had the opportunity to work with is development in executives. A lot of times we kind of get set in our ways where we're really great at communication at certain levels, but as we move up in leadership roles, those need to expand. So a lot around skill sets, decision-making rhythms, reducing confusion amongst teams, understanding how to delegate effectively, and understanding your zone of genius and other people's zone of geniuses. And then also replacing constant pivots with focused direction. It's very easy for people to say, well, that didn't work, let's just pivot, versus sometimes saying, well, that didn't work right now. Do we need to give it a little bit of time? We don't need to pivot a whole 180, maybe just 90 degrees. Thinking through those types of things. I've helped individuals go through transitions, new roles, retirement, promotions, life things that come up. So I've guided leaders on role changes, company shifts, career milestones, stepping into an executive position, or preparing for retirement and their succession plan for the next level to come out or to come into the role. I've worked a lot on team cohesiveness. How instead of working in silos, do we come together to collaborate? That has been so much fun to watch companies finally be able to figure out how to communicate, how to be effective, and with time management as well. I've helped founders of organizations of entrepreneurship in all different ways to restructure their businesses. What is their role versus other people, hiring the right people for their seats, and then really getting clear on what that looks like so that they can scale their growth. I've helped leaders go from being tactical thinkers to strategic leaders, to learning how to delegate effectively. And that doesn't happen overnight. It is a growth through coaching perspective. And it's been so great to see these individuals look internally to know that they have this skill, but then implementing tools to really help them. I've helped leaders move from I'm so busy to really being able to be focused and have productive time management. Also, they were able to lead. I've watched leaders who didn't want conflict, didn't want it, even know how to have those conversations, to actually be curious and be open to having those conversations instead of putting Band-Aids on things, ripping that off and having hard conversations to set those individuals that they work with up for success and also their company up for success. I've watched people grow in promotions, and I'm not just talking a 5% increase. I'm talking way more than that. I've watched people find balance, what works for them in their life, and have more of a strategic influence within their organization. It has been a wild ride being a coach, but as you can probably hear in my voice, I have a lot of passion for helping people move to the next level because I know what that feels like for me moving to the next level. I know what that does for your confidence, for your growth, for your happiness, and that is what I want for my clients. So there's 4 core pieces of coaching that are really key. First, we start with where you are now. We don't spend too much in the past, and my goal is to get you to the next level. Another piece of coaching is that you cannot solve a problem with the same thinking that created the problem, right? Coaching helps you shift the way that you think and shows you different perspectives. Coaching also helps you create accountability and clarity. Sometimes it's just not about motivation. It's about direction. It's about our behavioral changes that we have to make. And coaching builds you to grow. You stop second guessing yourself and you start trusting yourself. And I'm going to use the word alignment. You have a lot more alignment in what you do. And I will continue to say, I love watching people grow. And I keep using the word I, and I apologize for that. I really, really want people to know that I get to be part of that journey. It's really about you and what you need. The guidance to help you overcome that self-doubt, get through that transition, get that job or that career that you wanted. Maybe make a transition to a whole different career. Maybe be that executive that you've been longing to be. Maybe you feel like you have imposter syndrome in these roles. But really, it's the stories that we're telling ourselves. And I think it's very amazing when you have a coach along for the journey with you. So my promise to all of you is by the time anybody's ever done working with me, they're hitting their goals, they're thinking, they're leading and operating at another level than they ever have before. You're making decisions more confidently. You have systems to protect your time, your energy, and your priorities. You can execute consistently without burnout or second guessing. Coaching doesn't change your work. It changes how you live. And that is really key, is how do you want to level up to the next level to become the best version of yourself? So if you're listening today and you're ready to grow, I'm here for you. It doesn't have to be a career move, but it can also just be the way that you think and you lead. And I invite you all to apply at lisatarkington.com/coaching. Again, I would love to support you. There's some amazing testimonials out there about how people have worked with me, and I am ready to open up to more coaching opportunities, and I really want to watch you be successful. If you're new, I'm sure someone forwarded this to you because they think that you deserve to be coached. If you've been following me for a long time and wondering, well, what a little bit about coaching, or what does Lisa do and what is her methodology? I hope that helped a little bit more. But I'd love to sit down with you to take it to the next level, to really support you, especially as we're walking into a new year. I want you to have the best version of yourself. So as I say on every podcast, continue to spread love and kindness to everybody that you meet. And I look forward to working with you and watching you grow. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Confident Podcast. If today's episode resonated with you, head over to leadconfidently.org for today's show notes along with discounts to our services. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, leave a review, and follow us on Instagram and YouTube at The Confident Podcast. Your feedback means the world to me, and it helps more people discover the show. And hey, if you're feeling inspired to dive deeper, let's connect. You can find me on Instagram at Lisa Tarkington Official. Drop me a message and let's explore how I can support your journey to confidence and leadership. Remember, you have the power to choose confidence every single day. Keep showing up, keep striving, and keep believing in your potential. I'm cheering you on, and I'll see you next time.